you do a summon and you see that magical moment. You see Goku go Super Saiyan 3 or you get a buy, guys. You know you're going to get an SSR. But then you see that face. That dog shit grin. It's either Maju, Super Vegeta, or this fucking asshole. It's a shitty card. It's a booty card. But with every dog shit card, there's a small silver lining. Very small, but it's there. You just gotta look hard enough. And you can make that card work for you. And that's what I'm gonna try to do with this man, Super Vegeta. Now, Super Vegeta, no doubt, he's one of the most badass looking cards in the game. I mean, he's fucking charging up Final Flash. He looks sexy. He looks beautiful. He looks like he's been to the gym and taken steroids 24/7 for the past week. Too bad his stats don't really reflect that. I mean, if you want to just summarize why this card is so booty, you have to realize that there's actually a free STR SSR version of him that's actually better when you get him to SA10. I'm not even joking. Because of his passive attack plus 25% when key is 5 or more, he actually does a little more damage and edges out AGL Vegeta, which is pretty sad. But don't worry about that, okay? Because no matter what, AGL Vegeta, he does look better than this Vegeta. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he's a fucking troll doll with that fucked up cut and that ugly face and that vein that's about to pop. It looks like he has high blood pressure. Now, one thing that is working in your favor with this AGL Super Vegeta is the fact that he's a Prince of all Saiyans. He is a Super Saiyan, no matter what. As long as the card has Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, you should be fine. It's a decent card. Even if the passive is shit, it'll be decent. And what really helps this card a lot is if you have a very specific Super Saiyan, because they link extremely well and they synergize well together. And that card is Super Trunks, aka Natty Nero. This guy, he's pretty good in himself. Over the time, he's kind of aged. He's alright. But they have a lot of links together. They both have Golden Warrior, so they get a key up. They also both have Super Saiyan, obviously, so they get that extra 10% attack. And they also both have Z Fighters. And they also both have Soul versus Soul. Now, this is what really kind of makes them unique, as opposed to other Super Saiyans. They get this extra +1 key, which, you know, if this was like 6 months ago, you'd be like, holy shit, +2 key, what the fuck? But when you take into account that a lot of Super Saiyans now have Prepared for Battle and Golden Warrior giving you +3 key, you kind of want to kill yourself. But that's not, don't do that. We're going to make Super Vegeta work for you. Now, like I said, even if you don't have Trunks, he will work well on pretty much any Super Saiyan team, or even Saiyan team. I mean, there's a lot of free Super Saiyans. There's Tech Super Saiyan Goku, Phi Gohan, which you'll never see again. And there's also Super Saiyan Tech Goku, that's Angel, but technically it's a different card, so you can have him on the team at the same time, so it's whatever, it works for you. And you can also, in theory, have AGL Super Strike Vegeta, but although they work well together in the sense that his leader skill helps him, and you also have the Saiyan Warrior Race link, it's not much other than that. You could also, like, think of any Super Saiyan free-to-play card, you know, Broly, so on and so forth, and you could pretty much have this work for you. I mean, it's possible, but it's kind of good to have kind of like the vanilla Saiyans, you know, Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Gohans, etc., kind of work together. Now, one thing about this Super Vegeta that is pretty good, it ain't a super attack. His super attack is just causes extreme damage to enemy. Wow, that's... Let's take a moment of silence for that. Ooh, Jesus Christ. But he does have a farmable super. From the Heroes versus Villains event, during the villain portion of it, you can actually get his max SA from farming one of the stages. And it's not that hard. I mean, I did it. I got him to max SA. I made that video, as you can see how badass he is. And it makes him a lot more usable. I mean, before I got his SA to max, he was doing about 20k supers, which is not, I mean, that sounds sad, but when you take into consideration all the other great Vegetas that are in the game, that's pretty much on par with him. And once you max him out, you do a whopping 39,000 on the reg. Maybe with a Gogeta lead, you could break that 40k mark, but, I mean, really, you want to max his SA just so you can actually use him, and he'll be kind of more of a threat on your team. What I like to do personally is max his SA and then pretend that he's only SA1 so I don't feel that bad about it. And then now passive skill. Now, weaken regeneration. Okay, I barely even used the actual cards that had regeneration for the self-fight, and at this point in the game, who cares? And he's also AGL, so why would you bring him the fight still in the first place? And as you can see, AGL and Fight type key +2. This is surprisingly shitty. I'm not gonna lie. AGL and Fight type key +2 is kind of it's more than a double-edged sword. It's an oxymoron. Why would you have Phi cards if you're bringing AGL Vegeta? Really? The only reason? Fuck, wait, shit. I'm trying to make this card work for you. Listen, AGL Vegeta, you don't always have to go after an STR boss. Although, most likely you will be. You can bring some Phi cards. I mean, if you bring, for example, Ultimate Gohan, or if you bring, you know, maybe a Phi Super Saiyan Gohan, you can get them both to +2 key. Same thing goes for like Super Saiyan 2 Goku or any other AGL Saiyan. I mean, you can get their key up +2. But, you know, let's admit it. I mean, this is probably going to work best on a full AGL team. It kind of sucks they didn't have AGL and Tech or AGL and STR, kind of like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. But I guess they kind of wanted to diversify Super Vegeta. I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I mean, in order to make this card work for you, you gotta do a couple things. First of all, you gotta lower your standards. Second of all, you kind of have to build a team around him or put him in a case where he can really shine. I mean, surprisingly, you can take advantage of his +2 key. I mean, on an AGL mono team, this guy can actually be really friggin' good, especially when Super Vegeta comes out, because he can basically act as a pseudo Turles. Because what a lot of people do for AGL Vegeta is that they just have a mono AGL team so you can wreck. But those cards don't necessarily always link together. I mean, one of the cards that people praise right now is Ninja Murasaki, and he doesn't really link with anyone. With Vegeta on your turn, you could, in theory, have him by himself and have him link with people that don't really link all that well, but he will give him that +2 key, so it'll kind of make up for that shitty link still. So he is kind of a bridge closer. He's not that bad when it comes to that. I mean, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, because come on, I can't just leave you like this. This card is gonna be badass. Why? Let's admit it, okay? Some of the shittiest cards in the game, they're getting rebirths, okay? Xeno Trunks was so ass they gave him Attack All. The only person I can think of that's shittier than Xeno Trunks is Majub, and the only person I can think that's shittier than Majub is Super Vegeta. And Super Vegeta, low-key, is going to get an Attack All Super. So, you heard it from me first. Keep it on the low. Don't let Bandai know. But this dude is high-key going to get an Attack All Super. And if he doesn't, then I don't know what to do. But that's pretty much the gist of this. I figured, hey, you know what? I got a lot of shitty SSRs. And I figured out a couple ways to use them. And they go from shitty to usable. So, you know, I've played this game for a year. I'm basically a veteran. I can make this shit work for you. Let me know. Give me a comment. Send me a message. Send a carrier pigeon. I don't care. Tell me what's a shitty SSR, and I'll tell you why that SSR is not shitty, but actually borderline average. So that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.